am a firm believer that you create health from within. That everything that you eat, consume, watch, read, drink, anything, listen to, benefits you in your health.
All right, we're here in the studio with Zena Hattar, chef, dietitian, saxophonist, DJ in training. Zena, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Yeah, so we want to get right into it. I know that you and I met when I was on a gig at a wedding, right? You approached me.
I sure did.
Yeah, ever so eagerly.
Ever so slightly.
Yeah. And your outgoing energy, I think, is what like drawn me towards what's a really good friendship, I think, now between the two of us. And you came up to me asking if I taught saxophone lessons, right?
I did.
Yeah. And I just kind of want to hear a little bit about what drives you to try all of these different trades, because like you're somebody who I know loves to get your hands on like everything that you love to do. So like what made you want to choose saxophone?
So for the wedding that you're talking about, my cousin got married, and previously for her bachelorette, we went to New Orleans and saw, performers performing jazz music. And I'm a huge fan of reggae music. I love reggae. Mm-hmm. I can listen to it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. No problem. I'll never get full of it. And there's a lot of sax and reggae music. I find myself gravitating to hearing that instrument just because it's so powerful in any song. And so I'm, I see this guy. I'm like, oh, my cousin got a sax performer at her wedding. I was like, this is fucking badass. Yeah. I'm like, I got to go ask him if he teaches. So that's what inspired me, was actually seeing you basically a few days later and taking it as a sign,
Yeah.
I'm like, let me go see if he teaches. And, I'm like, hey.
Yeah. Yep. And we started lessons, and overall it just like evolved into a friendship. And you introduced me to like some other things that you like to do. I know that cooking is a big thing for you. Like, tell me a little bit about your start for cooking. Like, how'd you fall in love with that?
So I fell in love with cooking at a very young age. Being Middle Eastern, we have funny thing, my mom doesn't cook at all.
Oh.
So I grew up with both of my grandmas cooking for us. Mm. And so I would watch my grandma cook and always try to join her in the kitchen. And just playing around, I guess the smells, the sounds, the activity of chopping things and sauteing and all that jazz really got me excited.
And it was fun, right?
It is. Yeah. It's very fun. And so I pursued culinary arts. I went to culinary school in 2017. Actually, I finished in 2017, which was in Arizona. And that's, I really wanted to learn cooking.
Yeah.
And I just find it such an amazing form of art to share with people and nourish them and fill them up with something that you can create from anywhere.
Absolutely.
To represent any kind of culture, and bring people together at a table. And that's why I like cooking, because it just brings people together.
Oh, that's incredible.
Was there like a favorite dish that you had that you used to make at home that kind of got you into it, where you're like hands-on with your family?
I always tried to make different things, because growing up, I ate a lot of Middle Eastern food, and I was just always so tired of it. Okay. And, now as an adult, I appreciate it, and because it takes so much work to make these dishes.
Yeah, a lot of prep.
Yeah, a lot of prep. And so I always say I just cook seafood very well. I like fish. I love any kind of raw fish, cooked fish, fish stew, whatever. I believe I was made to be part of the ocean. But that just could be me being a Pisces. I don't know.
I'm a Pisces as well.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah. So I would say just fish. But I remember, and I was saying this to Marcus, my first dish that I ever cooked was chicken. And I was super excited about it. It was lemon, parsley chicken with my grandma. I told her, don't touch anything. I'm going to do it all. And I want to say like 7 or 8. I was very young. And it came out of the oven. The skin was golden, but then you open up the chicken and it's raw. And this is, like my lesson learned
Yeah.
to ask for help when needed.
That's awesome. So, being inspired as a young chef, now you're older, you're doing it professionally, you're doing some catering gigs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about your experience like with those a little bit.
So catering can be really fun and can be really hectic. It's nice to do it with a team.
Mm-hmm.
Usually I tend to do it by myself just because I feel like I have it under control, but then sometimes I'm always rushing. I'm like, I wish I had an extra hand. But it's really enjoyable because you get to execute what the guest wants. I cater. I don't do anything like coursed meals. I'll do a bunch of large appetizer tables or charcuterie tables. And they've been really fun and artistic in a way where I've developed a way to play with fruit and make it look artistic.
Yeah.
Like making stars out of it or filling up a papaya with blueberries instead of its own seeds. So it's its own bowl. And,
almost
just
like centerpieces.
Yeah. There's, one of my instructors in culinary school for our graduation, he carved a watermelon.
Okay.
And it said like ACI, which Arizona Culinary Institute, like graduating class of 2017. And after that, I bought a fruit carving kit.
Yeah. Nice.
But I've never really got into that because it's just kind of hard.
Yeah.
So I'm just really good at cutting things and with a knife. And, I've plenty of burns and nicks everywhere. But those are all, I want to say my knowledge scars.
Yeah. Okay.
Knowledge marks.
So not only like the love of cooking, but the artistry of it, like you fell in love with too. Presentation.
I love presentation. Like I did a little bit of food photography and food styling in the past. And that, as a kid growing up and watching the Food Network and the food, I would always look at everything like, oh, wow, they presented that. So I wish I could do that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I want to do that. I want to have that opportunity. And I think I believe in the power of manifestation and absolutely. Attracting, what you want. And so I guess throughout the years of me saying, oh, I could do that. Like I can handle that, whatever. My cousin calls me. He's like, hey, I have a job for you. I'm like, okay, what's the job? Mm-hmm. And it turned out to be a food stylist. And the guy who hired me goes, have you ever had any experience styling food? I said, no. I was like, I could send you some things I've done, just on my phone. He goes, sure, come in and we'll do a trial run. Okay. So I came in and then I started shooting videos at first. So we were doing like food videos. And then later I became the executive like decision maker for content and then creating and developing the style for certain products to be featured in these dishes. And it's basically like the products line of photos for advertising. Like each month there'd be like, November, December, I'd gauge it towards like a gift or something nice. Anyways, it just fell in my lap. And I was like, okay, I manifested that. I could do whatever I want.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So styling and art, food.
You said you like to work with a team when you're in the kitchen. I'm just curious because I know myself, I enjoy cooking too. And especially when I have people coming over or something like that to make a dish for people. But if I'm at home by myself, like I don't know about you, Marcus, but I'm making rice. I hate it. I'm making pasta. I'm not doing anything fancy. Is that kind of, do you feel the same way? Like, is it when you're by yourself at home, is it kind of like a job or do you feel like you like really like explore and try different things when you're on your own?
No, when I'm at home, and then it's funny, my family doesn't eat much of my food at home. No? They're like, oh, you cook too healthy. Oh. They're like, oh, it's not, and no, I find myself making really quick dishes. Like, and I want to even call it they're cheat codes, I've just developed a habit of cleaning out my fridge and using what I have. So I'm not, it's also a sense of creativity. Like, what can I make with these 3 ingredients? Mm-hmm. I pretend like I'm on Chopped or whatever. Yeah. I don't even know what the show is called, whichever one where they give them the basket, And so I think it is Chopped. Anyways, yeah, no, I'm not like that. I don't.
So it's always fun for you.
Yeah, and
That's
it's chill. I don't get like high strung. I like help, but I tend to delegate. Like if you do something that I didn't ask you to do, it's over.
Yeah, all right.
Good to know.
Yeah, I'm just like, because everything is organized, mise en place, put in place, and there's a purpose and a reason for things to be done in a certain way and manner.
Well, I guess in a way you have to be kind of organized to be trying and doing all these different things. I think that's probably a big part of why you're so successful at it.
Oh, thank you, but there's so much improvement to be done, always.
Yeah, so we talked about saxophone, we talked about cooking, and I know like when I brought up the skill of like wanting to learn how to DJ, you immediately like jumped on that too. Like you're like, oh yeah, like I definitely want to get into that too. And I know that you've practiced aerial arts and you've practiced different things in like Eastern medicine. Like what draws you to these different things, and like how do you choose which path that you want to go on, like when you find these different things that you love?
So when something catches my interest, like, oh, this is captivating. This girl is falling from a ceiling on a silk, curtain. What the hell? I want to do that. I just feel like, and then I've done like MMA. I love kickboxing. I think just anything that has to do and I love playing sports and being active. So if you find something that is different and you enjoy it and you're active and you're like, elevating your heart rate and learning a new skill, that's what gravitates me towards choosing that direction, or choosing that path. But I just, and I say this to all of my aunts because they're like, Zena, you're all over the place.
Okay.
Like, when are you going to pick something and settle with it? I'm like, why?
Right.
Like, we're limitless as a human.
Why
It's
settle?
like you put limit on yourself when you're like, oh, I only play basketball. I'm not going to go play volleyball. No, soccer's not my sport. Why aren't you going to go try it?
Yeah, I feel like
I do these things and I'll do them for months at a time, and then I keep up with it, but it's not like a daily thing. Just, I like to wet my toes, and then eventually I go for a swim, and then I'm like, okay, maybe I'll swim a couple miles and then come back, and but it's that my answer is just that you're you put limits on yourself. So I wouldn't do that. I think that's why I choose to try so many things.
Yeah.
Because then, you meet so many people when you're diving in and like DJing. Like, I have a twin brother, and he got a turntable for Christmas 5 years ago. And he's always like, oh, I want to be a DJ. Like, I want to get into it. I'm like, okay, let's do it. So me and a couple of his friends went in, we got him a turntable set, and he never used it.
He hadn't touched it the whole time.
It was collecting dust. And Marcus is over here like, I'm going to start DJing. I'm like, I have a turntable. I want to start. I want to do it. Like, I love reggae music, and I went to this one place. It's called the Dub Club. Okay. Where it's just a reggae DJ. And he's churning and, and using some vinyls too, like old, super cool.
Oh,
like,
okay. So he's doing it old school. Switching the vinyls.
But like half and half.
Okay.
And then I was with a group of friends, and we were just like, he's good, but we can be better. We're like, this is good, but he could have, like, we're already thinking about the other songs that, mesh well. And just, again, like, huge reggae fan.
Yeah.
anything with reggae, I would love. I aspire to be a reggae DJ.
Awesome.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Well, and I hear you rap a little bit.
Oh.
I like to freestyle.
You like to freestyle?
Yeah, in my free time when I'm driving in the car by myself, or as a speech for someone, on occasion.
On occasion.
Yeah, but not live on a podcast.
No, I mean, it does.
Not gonna give us a taste.
If there's a good beat, but we might have to edit it out if it's bad.
No, we won't. Yeah, we won't put you on the spot here. So I want to talk a little bit about your practice as a dietitian, because we live in a Western world, like most of the people that we interact with, but you're practicing like Eastern medicine and like practices. Like tell me a little bit about that and how you got into that and what you think like the benefits are, or like tell me about that lifestyle.
I am a firm believer that you create health from within. That everything that you eat, consume, watch, read, drink, anything, listen to, benefits you in your health.
Mm-hmm.
So, like 80% of chronic disease and illness can be prevented through good diet. And here in America, we have the obesity epidemic. Like diabetes is uncontrolled. You're getting young kids who are just literally drinking Coke as water.
Mm-hmm.
It's just astonishing to me. And it makes me really sad, actually.
It's really just become like a very normalized.
It's so normal. They're like, oh, here's your kid's meal with X large fries. I'm like, what? What? Since when does eating like plain old turkey sandwich become bad? You know? Like, or whatever. And fast food it's so accessible now with DoorDash and all these, companies that are like, let me deliver it to your house. Here's 25. I just got a $25 free coupon on my email for Uber Eats. I don't even use Uber Eats.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I might as well use it. I'm going to get free food. And I'm looking at all these options. I'm like, oh, they make it so easy for people.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even have to go get it anymore.
No, they want you to be lazy. And that's why I'm just like, oh my, they don't even want you to get up to the fridge to like grab a glass of water, add a bottle of water to your order.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? But that's why, like, nutrition. So growing up, my dad has diabetes, and I've had so many family members who just, hypertension, high blood pressure, all of this. And I know that I have my own tendencies. Like, I'm addicted to sugar. I love sweet things. And I'm like,
Same.
Yeah. And
Sweet tooth.
it's evident that sugar is just as addictive as cocaine.
Mm.
Yeah. And so we are so registered and programmed like, oh, I want to eat this sugary croissant or this buttery sweet croissant with my sugary coffee. Let me start my day off like this. And then throughout the day, you're going to continue wanting to eat the same things and you're not creating these healthy habits. So the reason why I got into dietetics and nutrition is to help. I know I'm on my own path of recovery and healing and health. And so I want to help people. Like, if you enjoy, chatting and sparking up a conversation, if you can just grasp anything, like my job here in this world, like on this planet, is to just keep dropping seeds.
Yeah.
And I hope eventually you'll find someone else who can help water it or sow it, or you do it yourself.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm into nutrition. Like, I just want to help people. Like, seeing my dad suffer, it's horrible. And it puts such a mood on people. Like, you don't realize how people are actually like depressed and upset. And they think like their life is not as shiny and bright as someone else who you see is like being physically active and filling their body with fuel and nutrients. It's just such a different.
It has kind of an overlapping effect on your overall mental health and
everything. Mental,
well-being.
Physical, spiritual. Yeah, it's all linked. And it's just, that's the message. Like, that's the goal what I'm trying to do with dietetics is to just help people, like help the community, help friends and family whenever I can, even help myself.
Yeah.
Because I can't, also a firm believer, like, if you're ill, get better and then help others. Like, don't try to do it while you're in this state, because you should be taking care of yourself.
Yeah,
always.
you have to help yourself before you can help others.
I love what you said about health starts from within.
It does.
And I know myself, coming from like a competitive background in skating, where I was training every day, I could eat whatever I wanted and not gain a pound.
You're burning so many calories.
Was completely healthy. Kind of transitioning to just performing, where you're just kind of maintaining and doing like shorter intensity things, to now where I'm retired from skating, and 80% of my work's at my computer editing. I've definitely noticed a difference in how quickly I've gained, especially over COVID and things shutting down as well. A lot of people, how much weight I've gained just in the last year, just with that transitioning to a different type of work, different type of lifestyle. I know Los Angeles is kind of, I think in general, LA is kind of a health conscious, fitness conscious town, there's a lot about entertainment industry here, and
Yeah.
for better for worse.
Yeah, I'm like, for worse.
Yeah, probably for worse. People kind of have an image of what they're supposed to be and
Yeah.
look like. But for like everyone out there who's like kind of grinding and doing all these different things and having trouble maybe finding time to go to the gym, or they just go to the Uber Eats because it's quick and fast, or even for myself who's kind of making this transition, what kind of a dietitian advice would you have for us?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Okay, so like, as for example, I said I ordered Uber Eats not too long ago.
Yeah.
Just choose a better option.
Yeah.
No need to order, deep fried, heavy duty, mac and cheese, sloppy Joe. I don't know. They come up with the most insane things nowadays.
So I don't need an extra large pizza just for myself.
Listed all my favorite things.
This sucks.
No, we're addicted. We're super addicted.
No, that's
But
absolutely.
yeah, like we just, there's always a better option out there. There's always a better way. And then mind you, how some people say they're like, oh, if you get a salad, watch out, the dressing's just as fattening as this burger. Like, I would go for the burger. Like, I'm definitely one for sustenance. Like, if something has a good protein, has a good fat, and is lower carb, it's going to satiate you. It'll keep you full. It'll keep you focused and energized throughout the day to do what you need to do, So that's it. Like, just choose a better option. Nothing that's super carb heavy, like just, mac and cheese. Like,
Right.
at least put some meat in there or something, some sort of protein, plant protein, whatever you can get in there. You want to make sure that you're filling up your body so that you're not, running on low constantly.
Well, and if you're not running on low, then you have a little more energy. Maybe you make it to the gym that day.
Yeah.
It all kind of compounds.
Or even, like, I'm a huge advocate. I just tell people, I'm like, go on a walk.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is. Wake up half an hour earlier. Start your day off with a walk. See the difference it's going to make throughout your day. And when you start your day on a positive note, let's say you're even eating, you're making yourself a smoothie instead of going to the coffee shop and grabbing like a sugary latte.
Mm-hmm.
Your whole day gets put and set on that note.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I did this morning. I'm going to continue doing this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to go backtrack and, go get my donut or whatever. I know. I love Krispy Kreme. I like all these things. I love ice cream. I'm a fiend for it. Pistachio is my favorite. Like, you just have to make that conscious decision. And then I told myself this along with everyone else who's created, we're in January, it's New Year's. People have their goals and their resolutions. I'm like, just do it today and then follow tomorrow. Say, I did it yesterday. I'm going to do it again today.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. Because we live every day, day by day. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Right.
I might get hit by a bus. I hope not.
Yeah.
But
Fingers crossed.
Knock on wood.
yeah, you never know. So you just have to do it on day by day.
So it's the consistency and making those small little choices that you think is like
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And
Creating that healthy routine for yourself.
yeah, absolutely. Just doing that.
yeah.
And that's the advice I give to myself. I'm like, I have to follow it. If I'm not doing that, then I'm not helping you. I have to practice. You have to practice what you preach, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Cool. Well, you've got all of these trades and all of these practices and all of these passions. I kind of want to hear a little bit about some of your influences in all of these different things. Who inspires you? Who is somebody who, dead or alive, if you could talk to them today, like whose brain would you pick at?
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's a good question.
Marcus, you inspire me.
Yeah. Like Marcus inspires me too.
Am
So
I on
I
the
don't know if
list?
that was like sarcastic or not.
No, Marcus he's amazing.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, like Marcus's love for music and for playing the sax and just learning jazz and all these things. He teaches me things that I would have learned if I went to university and studied music that I would have never expected to learn from someone who's just an instructor.
Mm-hmm.
You're more like just this ball of knowledge.
Oh, I try.
When you do a great job. You're like, oh, like John Coltrane and all these different, like artists. And you're like, if you like this vibe, then you should listen to this artist. And you should, what was her name? The female saxist that I followed on Instagram. I forget.
Melissa Aldana, right?
Melissa, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, you should watch how she does her embouchure, watch how she does this. You know, you give me examples, and it's really helpful.
Yeah.
But the inspiring question, you inspire me in the sense of trying and being consistent and practicing, because I picked up the sax at 23. I'm like, okay, I feel old. I feel like I should have done this when I was a kid. I regret not being put in music as a child. And I'm, even in this stage of my life, I can still learn, but I need to remind myself to be patient. And you help me do that.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, okay, it's okay. Like when you give me high fives during practice, I'm just like, okay, I'm not doing that bad, And then I'm lighter on myself, and it's inspiring to me to keep on achieving, to practice more and be better.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing with mixing. Like, I haven't gone into mixing reggae music yet, but I'm mixing like EDM and hip hop, and trying to play these things and listen and see what the different buttons and controls do on
your DJ controller.
Yeah, on the controller. Yeah. Thank you. It's like there's so many things in my head right now. But yeah, it's just, but Dead or Alive, I mean, you're a musical influence to me. Absolutely. 100%. Like, yeah, Aaron, good job. Hey. I agree with you.
Call it legacy.
Yeah, this is true.
Thanks.
I don't, like, I have so many friends and just people who influence me to just constantly strive for more.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I have a lot of people who are like, oh, you should stick to one thing and get good at it. I'm like, but I think I'm good at certain things. I don't need you to tell me I need to only stick to one thing and be good at one thing. Like, how else am I supposed to evolve?
Right. You're killing it in all the things.
And that's such a great mindset to have too. Just like you said, that some of the things you didn't maybe do as a kid, but you're not afraid to try now, because it's never too late to pick up an instrument, try to learn something new, and be brave enough to. I know it doesn't seem like you're a shy person.
Oh no,
but just being brave enough to like be patient with yourself and give yourself a chance to try new things and evolve like that.
Absolutely. I'm not. I was definitely more outgoing as a kid, and I've become more reserved as an adult, just because I realize not everybody is so nice, or and I try to give everyone the benefit of the doubt. But you have to be careful with where you put your energy, or where you want to, what river you're trying to flow with, or wherever. But I just, I don't have an answer to the question on where or who Dead or Alive inspires me. I get inspiration from so many things, like even a picture. Mm-hmm. Like the colors, how did the artist and then I look up at the sky sometimes in this beautiful sunset. I'm like, okay, that's where they got it. Mm-hmm. I was like, when you see these pretty art photos and you're wondering how this artist blend all these colors, oh, it's nature. Okay, I see it. I see what they're painting. That's so inspirational. I see the way these rocks are in like a natural labyrinth. It's so inspirational. The way the music flows and the way it's going through my body, it's inspiring me to pick up an instrument. Mm-hmm. Or the way this garlic and onion smells sauteing in my pan, it inspires me to feed you.
Yeah.
Like, it inspires me to make these flavors, and like the palate, your palate is so full of taste buds and explosions of so many different things. It's just insane. I don't, I have a lot of inspiration from everybody.
Well, it sounds like you're very in touch with yourself and and your feelings, and like things around you just kind of inspire you. And you kind of take in life as you're going along, and
I'm trying.
A rare thing, I think.
No, it's yes and no. It's an inner battle for sure. Like, it's something that's a constant work in motion. Like, I know my flaws. I know that sometimes I'm too quick to speak. Like, I can get angry. I can do all these different things that just don't align with who I'm trying to be. Mm-hmm. And it's not even what society wants you to be. It's what you feel is true to yourself, And so it's just a journey.
Yeah.
It's a lifelong journey.
And a choice.
Yeah, and a choice.
And a choice.
Yeah, a conscious choice.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of journey, I know that you love to travel as well. So, I mean, do you feel like your experience through travel has helped, inspire you in a lot of ways. And I know, do you think that the melting pot of like Los Angeles and like living here, is that like, does that attribute to some of your inspiration?
LA is a great place. It's a great melting pot. There's a lot of people here, so many different like ethnicities and like food places. You go down the street, I got Indian, Japanese, and Korean food. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I would have never thought about trying galbijin, like some Korean dish. And I love kimchi now and whatever. But I was very blessed as a kid. Growing up, I'm Jordanian, so I would go to Jordan every summer for 3 to 4 months at a time, and it's spectacular to be able to see just for a long period of time how other people live, and just like in my comfort of my home here in LA with like AC, sleeping on my mattress, and going to my bathroom. Like you land at the airport in Jordan and I'm peeing in a hole, like in the toilet, like on the floor, and I'm just like, wow, okay, so this is what it's like, and that's just one small example. But I've traveled all throughout the Middle East. I've traveled to Asia. I've traveled to Europe, and it's just being able, and I took classes in college where I'm learning cultural competency, like especially as a dietitian too. And as I got a degree in communication, you have to be able to know how to speak to people and how to respect boundaries and be, the best representation. You know how a lot of people are like, oh, Americans are so rude. Like they don't know, like they don't understand. And so you're trying to defy that, right? As an American. So I'm just like, okay, I know, I understand that you don't consume this in your culture and in your religion, and then it plays out in the dietetic realm, and just being culturally competent and understanding how different cultures function. So being able to travel gave me that opportunity as a young kid till now to adulthood to be present and be like, oh, that's not weird. How interesting. Show me more. Tell me, why do you do this? Why is this a part of your tradition? I would love to learn more. It's never like I'm gonna sit here in the corner and just watch and judge you.
We don't do that at home, so
Yeah.
I'm not interested in
Right?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, show me. I want to learn this dance, or I want to drink your tea at night, or like we have a traditional dessert that we make during Easter. It's called atayef. It's like a little pancake, and you stuff it with walnuts and cinnamon, and then it gets put with simple syrup. It's so tasty, and it's tradition.
Okay.
And you're just,
Making me hungry.
Yeah. Right.
Thoughts water a little bit.
And you're just like, I want to taste it. I want to try and be, culturally aware and integrated. You don't want to. This is like another thing of just being open to new things and new people and new adventure out there.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's had a huge influence on me, and music too. Like I love French music. Do I understand a word they say? No. Like I love the way it sounds. Love French music. I love Arabic music. Like growing up, I was in belly dance. I like all kinds of, to hear the different instruments in the music. Like we have a guitar. It's called the oud.
Okay.
It's just so beautiful. Or a bunch of, I know in Armenian music, there's a lot of wind instruments that are played. Yeah. And it's, it's just it's so cool to see. It's not just, even though there's nothing wrong with creating beats and stuff on a turntable and on, but it's just these people from years ago have kept these instruments in their music, and it's a consistent, like this is Hungarian music and this is, it's Japanese music. I've never, I'm going to go Google some, some Japanese music.
Yeah.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, it's cool how everyone kind of has their own kind of sounds and, cultural rhythms.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what's next for you? Like, what do you have going on currently, and what are you looking forward to in like the next few months?
So I am currently a dietitian at a skilled nursing facility. I work with the geriatric population. I love old people.
Amazing.
Yeah, they're just so knowledgeable. Like, and then I had to do an internship and everything, and my preceptor at the time was like, don't be afraid of working at a skilled nursing facility. I know a lot of people out there want to work straight out of hospital. I was like, no. I was like, I don't even take Tylenol. I don't want to go to a hospital. I don't see myself working clinically in that realm at all, because I just want to help the community. You know, I want to be a community dietitian. And so I got this job at a skilled nursing facility, and I'm currently working there, and they're just so full of knowledge. I have one resident, her name's Ruth. She plays the piano every day. And I brought her a book to play newer modern songs.
Okay.
So she's learning, you know. Nice. So, but this job will be coming to a close. I recently decided that I'm going to go back to school and get my master's so that I can teach, you know, legally. And just try to be an influence to other students. I wish, you know, I had teachers who kind of stepped out of the norm. And when you're in college, you always wonder, like, oh, how is my professor going to be? And then you get that one that goes a little bit off the book.
Sure.
You know? And you're like, oh.
The one that kind of sticks with you and like.
Yeah. You're like, oh, I see what they're saying. Like, oh, it's a different outlook. I hope to be that person.
Yeah.
For some, even students, like I've thought about going and teaching just a seminar on how to read a nutrition label at high schools. Like, I just feel like it's so important.
Yeah.
But that's the next step, is returning back to school. While working, I'll be finding something. And I'm actually going to Thailand in 2 weeks to become a yoga teacher trainer.
Amazing.
Yeah, I'm super excited. Like, I want to integrate, you know, wellness in every sense, like meditating and practice and body movement, rhythm. And so I'm very eager.
You're all in.
Yeah, very cool.
I'm very excited. Yeah, so those are the plans. After, I don't know what my life will be like, but I'm not worried.
It doesn't sound like you're worried. You're just,
No.
a lot of plans.
Yeah, cool. Very busy. Yeah. That's awesome.
I like to stay busy.
Definitely keep us posted on the.
Oh, I will. We're gonna do a
the spring
practice.
Yeah.
I'll be inviting you to my hike and flow class. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no,
Eventually,
we
Hey,
can.
we'll do it. Yeah.
Can't wait to hear about it, and invite us to some of those yoga classes.
Maybe
too
we
when
won't
you're-
video it, but
Why not? You know, you give your viewers a chance to chill out.
Right.
Even though I hope you're all chilling whenever you're listening to this podcast.
Yeah. Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, this is Zena Hattar. Thanks for joining us on the podcast.
Thank you for having me, Marcus and Aaron.
oh, absolutely. It's a pleasure having you here.
It's a pleasure being here.